Hello, and welcome back to the SpaHive Business Bestie Podcast. Good morning, MaryAnn.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, listeners. How's it
Well,
going? How's it going, Julie?
it's going good. I'm feeling shopped out from my Black Friday, Cyber Monday shopping. I've been
Yeah.
shopping since the middle of November.
Wow, well, that's a lot. Did you get my present?
I got all my Christmas gifts.
Oh, I'm so excited. What'd you
Mhm.
get me?
A toy kitchen.
Oh, no, I would not like one of those. But okay, that's great. How was your Thanksgiving?
Fantastic.
What's your
Fantastic.
what is your favorite part of your Thanksgiving meal?
Well, probably dessert. But stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy. I could take or leave turkey.
Oh,
I mean, sometimes I'll just take a teeny tiny bit of turkey. Sometimes I won't get any turkey at
no,
all.
that makes for a bad time. Why would you never do that? That's like not eating like a piece of happy birthday cake.
Well, I would definitely eat happy birthday cake
Mm.
for
I really
anybody's
like
birthday.
anybody's.
Yeah, whoever's birthday it is, if we're having cake, I'm down for it.
I'm having it. I really like for Thanksgiving, I really like turkey. So I'll take your serving and mine. And I like the gravy and mashed potatoes. And my niece usually makes deviled eggs. So that I really like too.
I love deviled eggs. Well, I haven't cooked Thanksgiving dinner since we moved, because the kids have moved. And so we've gone out to dinner for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, like at first I was really sad to not have Sam and Emma and the kids and
Mm-hmm.
everyone over for Thanksgiving, but I don't miss not cooking.
Yeah.
So we went with Sam and his family this year, to the York Harbor Inn, which was delicious. And I didn't have to eat any turkey because there was so much food, so much seafood.
Delicious. I would
So,
love a seafood Thanksgiving.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course there was traditional turkey. But there was like seafood Newburg, and of course I don't eat prime rib, but prime rib, and more food than that anyone could eat in one sitting. So, I really think they should have like a whole day sitting, that like you get there at 12 and then you could take a walk outside and then come back and have a little more. So the only thing I miss is leftovers.
Yeah, that's the thing, is leftovers are the best. They really are.
But I will occasionally cook a turkey breast, with mashed potatoes and stuffing like a few times throughout the year. So I don't miss it that much.
Yeah. Yeah, you get it. You get it when you need it, but
Right. Yeah.
mm,
So for me, more than anything, it was better to celebrate Thanksgiving with them, than to have leftovers.
oh, yeah. I mean, that would be so rude if you're like, "No, guys, so leftovers are more important. So I'll be at home."
I'll be at home and you can come up if you want.
Oh boy. What are we
But
talking about today?
it's hard. Well, today we're talking about holiday boundaries, how we create boundaries, especially as leaders. So I think, every leader thinks that they're good at creating boundaries, right? I mean, every human. I mean, do you think you're good at creating boundaries? I don't know.
No, no, I'm not.
Most leaders, though, I think that they're good at creating boundaries.
Besides Mary.
Um, until December hits. And
Mm.
then there are no boundaries because this is the season where leaders accidentally slip into this thing called holiday hero mode
What is that?
that I guess, it's a pattern of trying to save the entire season, taking on everybody's stuff, everyone's emotions, handling every crisis like you're the North Pole's office manager, you
Oh,
know? Um, and it's not cute and it's not sustainable because we can't take on everybody's stress. We can't take on, all the years worth of busy, it's the final push, the final holiday of the year, and we've got to save the year, right? Save the
yeah.
year for our businesses, make sure we save the year for our families. It's got to be the most magical holiday season that you've experienced yet. So today we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about why it happens, what it does to your mental bandwidth, and boundaries you need if you're going to thrive through December without crying in your car on the way home, which I've had those days.
But really, is it December unless we're doing that?
It is. That's why we have to change the trajectory. Yes. We
Oh,
can't put so much stuff on us that you're not enjoying the moment.
all right. All right. Maybe you'll make me a believer. This is what I'm right. When you're on 24/7, everything else is going on, whether it's your own holiday stuff, extended family holiday stuff, community stuff, whatever it might be. And then you're also still trying to get work done, you know, move a project along. And then you're always available, right? So
Hmm.
it's still a problem. It's not going to go away. It's just a way of life, right? But we all seem to be available 24/7.
Well, right. And if you're a manager or a leader whose phone is buzzing nonstop, like your staff is texting you as if they're actually living in your pocket and yanking down, on your hair, I need you, I need you, I need you, or clients DMing you at 10 o'clock at night, we've taught people that we're always available, right? I always say we teach people how to treat us. And then we're shocked when they believe us. Like
Right.
we're shocked when they're texting at 10 o'clock at night or texting like a silly thing that you're kind of like, really deal with it yourself. Or family assuming that you're the designated holiday cruise director and, are like, what are we doing for this? And what are we doing for that? And, it adds a lot of added pressure. I feel like sometimes managers, leaders, entrepreneurs, they get hooked on being needed. Like it's a little dopamine hit when everyone comes to you and is like, I need you, I need you, I need you, I can't function without you, right? But it's also exhausting.
Yeah, I do think that and I've said it before, but I do think sometimes I have like a hero complex, right? Where I like to be the one that's needed. I
Uh-huh.
like to be the one to save the day. And I don't know where that stems from. I'm sure, like, being the last child of many, maybe it stems from something like that. Like, I just
Right.
oh, that was my time to shine, right? And I got a chance to shine. So I was like, oh, I like to be a helper, but being a helper, I feel like is very different than always needing to be the hero, right?
Right.
Because I
Right.
do believe, like, we have a mission to serve, our community, our family, and definitely, ourselves too.
Hmm.
But there's gotta be a line between, where how available will you be? How much of a hero do you really need to be? And then, but flip side, not just shutting out the whole world and missing some of those ways you can actually help people.
But then sometimes it's like, how do you create that boundary? Like, how do you create that line of the more people ask, the more you say yes, right? And you're constantly the hero, then the expectation is that you will always be the hero. So then when you're not the hero and you have to give a hard no,
Right.
then how do you not feel guilty? I mean, I feel
Well,
like that's a real struggle, for people.
I mean, absolutely. And I feel like, good old, what I call like good old Catholic guilt, right? is a very,
Exactly.
yeah, it's a very real thing, at least in my realm, in my world, in your world as well. Um, but I think it's with anything, it comes practice, right? And sometimes when you start to lay down those boundaries, one, you are the one that feels like a jerk, right? You
Right.
feel like a jerk, and maybe even how you say things because you don't know how to say it yet. It might
Uh-huh.
come off
Uh-huh.
like you're a jerk.
Right, right, right. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a learned skill. But I do like, thinking of different boundary types, right? Because we use boundaries as this all-encompassing word.
Mhm.
Um, but really, there's different types of boundaries. There's time boundaries. When are you not going to be reachable? When are you of reachable? And then what's an emergency, right? Because, life happens. There's communication boundaries. Julie, you're great at this. You don't text after a certain time
Mhm.
at night. Um, I don't love that personally for me because then I don't get to talk to you. But it's your boundary that I respect, I suppose, for now.
Well, that's because I'm trying to get good night's sleep.
Yes. And I like this other one as well. Saying what type of communication, right? And I think this is okay to
Mhm.
do when you have teams, especially. But, text me for emergencies. But if anything else, send it to my email, right? So
Right.
if someone is trying to give a recap of the day or maybe a hit list for the next day, those things can be sent in an email um, instead of getting lost in text land. And, text just, they come more easily to you, right? You
Right.
flip up your phone. And so you're more likely to go and see a text before you are to see that email. Um,
Yeah. But
and I
then
know that,
sometimes you can miss texts
yeah, that's true.
because there's so many. I know oftentimes when I will email like direction of any sort, I mean, when I text it, sometimes it gets missed in between just chit chatty emails, right?
Wow.
And so then figuring out like, what is there an email? I mean, is there a text? I keep saying email. Is there a text that, is sandwiched in between the discussion about like lifetime holiday movies that, maybe was important and then I miss it too. So that's why email is, maybe creating a practice of like important instructions and plans, or emails, texts are for like immediate, anything
Yeah.
super immediate. Um, Something creating some kind of boundary like that, especially
Yeah.
for work.
Yeah. Especially for work. I mean, and then for me personally, I like that type of boundary because just like you were saying, then whatever directive that was, it doesn't get lost in the shuffle.
Right.
Um, and it also just creates a nice kind of line of communication. It creates a good like back trail when you're talking about whatever was on that email. You
Uh-huh.
don't have to go and, dig things out. So think about that because, you might try to practice that. I think that would actually really help.
Yeah,
Another
and
type
I
of
think rather than texting for Teams, if you're a business owner,
Mhm.
I mean, maybe it works for families too, but use Microsoft Teams, is a good place to like create a channel. I don't know if you call it a channel, but um of like handovers, like
Yep.
daily handovers and daily communications so that it's all in one place because and emailing actually can be overwhelming too. And I miss emails. I even miss emails too, not just text. Because if I see a text, sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, 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 I'll look at that later. And then I'll have 50 texts come in and I forget all about that one that now is buried way down with other conversations. And same with email. How
Yeah.
many emails does everyone get a day? So, a little tip or hack for businesses is having, a Teams channel where it's dedicated just for your communication.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. I mean, you can even use apps like WhatsApp. That's a great one for communication, depending on, if you're a solo business or something bigger, right? But there's a bunch of different apps out there that you can use. I mean, I know like off and on we have used a ton of different apps to communicate
Hmm.
with people we worked with before. So I really like that tip. Our next boundary type is going to be emotional boundaries. Sorry. So that's essentially not absorbing everyone's anxiety, not having to be the
Right.
mediator of every conflict, and not taking responsibility for other people's moods. This is tricky.
Exactly.
This
And
is a tricky one.
you don't have to be everyone's emotional support human.
Yeah. Yep, you don't need to be. I think sometimes just naturally some people's nature lends themselves to that. I have a friend and she could talk to anyone about anything and she is just inherently very approachable. And so
Hmm.
people do lay a lot down on her. And usually those people are hard at boundaries as well. But they have a hard time setting boundaries.
Right.
But I think it's important to try emotional boundaries.
Yes. And I think it's important to try to keep, a positive work environment when you're at
Yeah.
work. Because it's 100% true. One person in a bad negative mood, especially the leader, brings down the whole team. You can feel the energy shift, right? And it feels thick and heavy and tiresome for everyone. So trying to figure out how we can protect our own emotional boundaries so that we don't project any negativity on our whole team as well, which is tough because we're all such feelers in this industry. But at the end of the day, it's going to help us, it's going to help you, right? Manage your own boundaries, your own stress level, especially through the holidays. But it's also going to help with your team.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a feeler. I have a heart of ice, but for those of
Not
you,
true.
for those of you who are nice people, yeah, I could see how this is a problem. Our next type of boundary is a physical boundary. So, protecting your days off, right? Not always being in the building, which I really like this. And I think this is a great boundary to protect yourself, and your energy, right? But it's also a way to become more creative. Sometimes simply getting out of whatever environment you're in, whether it's, let's say you work from home a lot,
Mhm.
and that's just what you do. Taking your laptop or your notebook off site does wonders for your creativity. So not being always in the building, and then creating buffer time for yourself. Julie, I feel like I remember you do this a lot, like just create or add time to different tasks because you're like, I might just need a little bit more time or, some downtime.
Right, or you might get sidetracked in the middle. But I
Oh,
think that
imagine.
also, like, managers or owners, or I'm just going to pop in for a minute, right? I mean, I used to say that, I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to pop in for a few minutes, check, see how everything's going. I know a friend who manages a spot, does that a lot. And you and I both know it becomes like a 4-hour stint, right? You're there for a longer period of time. So if you know that always happens to you,
Don't do
don't
it.
just pop in
Don't do
because
it.
most things could be an email.
Yeah. Don't, yeah, don't pop in. That's a bad idea. I mean, unless you're bringing your team treats, that's also fun. But
But you're still going to plan to be there at
that's
least an hour.
that's true. So just get it delivered. Just order it, get it delivered, and be done with it.
Right.
All
And
right.
then the
And then
last one,
our last type of boundary is holiday specific boundaries. So, working on scheduling no meeting days, right? That's going to be a great type of
mhm.
catch up day. Blocking time for family events, very important. You don't want those things to get pushed to the back. And then also protecting, your recharge windows, right? So now is the season to really schedule that self-care time, right? Whether it's, oh, tonight we're going to watch a movie. I'm going to watch a movie by myself, or on Saturday morning, I'm going to wake up early. And even though I want to sleep in, that's me. That's me. I'm still having a problem with waking up early. It's not coming to me. It's not, I don't know what my problem is, but I don't seem to be able to get out of bed. Um, but saying Saturday morning, I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to go get myself a coffee and read my book for an hour before everything starts off. Um, just making sure that you're putting those blocks of time in, right? And then honoring that system.
Absolutely. And I think that, so I was scrolling through the TV last night and I was going to all of our channels, Apple and Netflix and Prime and Paramount and whatever they all are, YouTube TV. Um, and Gary's like, well, what are we going to watch? Why do you keep going from channel to channel, like streaming platform, streaming platform? And I said, well, because I'm making an inventory of the holiday movies that I'm going to plan to watch between now and Christmas. And so each platform, I said, oh, I'm going to watch this one and this one because they're new on Netflix. And then I'm going to watch these new movies on Hallmark. And then, oh, this one over here, Amazon. Amazon does not have a good lineup, I'm just going to say. But I
All
did
right.
find like one. And so I'm planning, right? I'm pre planning what I want to do throughout the holidays. I have coming up this weekend, I'm going to the Festival of Greens, which I love to go to, which is the Bath Garden Club puts on I guess it's the first weekend of December. Um, and I like to get my wreaths and some holiday decor, and it's super affordable and it helps them out. It's a donation essentially to the garden club. And I have things that I put on my calendar that I like to do, and going to some like craft sales and bake sales and cookie making, right? You did some cookie making.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, my sisters and I went on a sister weekend to the Bay in Delaware, and we did some cookie making. I use the term we, but really I sat there and two of the other ones did all the cookies. So it worked out great for me. And it worked out great for them because they like to make cookies.
So are
To
you
me,
gonna get
making
some of these cookies?
oh yeah. I mean, it was a group effort, group in quotations. Yeah. But yeah, so we make all the dough, right? And then we ball the dough into cookie balls, and then we freeze all of that so that you have just bags of balled up cookies in your freezer to go. At any moment you need a holiday cookie, and you just put it in the oven. You put how many cookies you want to eat in the oven at that time. So it's a great
Oh,
system.
so it's not for like your Christmas celebration.
No, it is something that we do at
Oh,
the beginning of the holiday season so that in our individual homes, we feel like we have Christmas cookies.
gotcha.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Fantastic. Love it. Love it. So I bake my holiday cookies 4 days before Christmas and it's super
I love it.
stressful. But Carol and I bang them out, arguing in the kitchen,
I love it.
on one blissful afternoon.
There we
And
go.
I think this year we're going to try to get Auntie to do them with us because she's coming earlier than usual for Christmas. So
Hmm.
I decided the three of us should do some Christmas baking.
It sounds like it's
I
going to
mean,
be a
there's
fun
not
time.
many of us, so we only bake like 3 kinds of cookies.
I think let's record a podcast during it, and it'll be all these ladies in the kitchen together trying to make these cookies. Seems
Okay,
fun.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Seems fun. Some scripts that leaders can use. You talked about a few minutes ago, like, it's how you say it, right? And sometimes you
Yeah.
sound like a jerk. I mean, I definitely the other day sounded like a jerk. A girl was like, "So I was thinking at the holiday party, I know we're doing Secret Santa, but what do you think about doing Yankee Swap?" And I'm like, "I hate Yankee Swap. It takes too long. No, I don't think that I think that the holiday party has too much stuff going on. There's cookie decorating and there's going to be axe throwing and movie watching and whatever all else. I don't think we can fit in a Yankee Swap. Like, it takes so long to Yankee Swap. And personally, I don't want to have my nice gift that I picked taken away from me." And she was like, thought she was gonna cry, poor thing. And I was like,
Well,
okay, I
yeah.
think it wasn't what was coming out of my mouth necessarily, but it was my like shut down of her idea, who was somebody that was like all into Yankee Swap. So it's, how do you how do you not sound like a jerk when you're like, no, I don't want to do that. No, don't text me. Don't text me after 7. Like, here are my hard rules. Don't text me after 7 unless it's an emergency. Don't blah, blah, blah. Don't. So, yes, now you sound like a jerk. So, here are some scripts that you
Yeah.
can use to not sound like a jerk.
Yeah. Because that was not very nice, Julie Pancake. You're going to get in trouble. So we'll put all of these in the show
I'm
notes.
not going to
So,
get in trouble. I texted her later and said, if you want to do Yankee Swap, like, it's your party, I don't want to be the party pooper. So if you want to do Yankee Swap, you organize it and you structure it and you handle it at the party and make sure it doesn't last more than like a half hour.
okay. Wow. Great. I hope she said that sounds great.
But
I'm going
in
to
a
do it.
nice way.
Okay.
Yeah, she's didn't text me back, but
She didn't text me back because she was crying about her Yankee swap idea. Um, well, sometimes it's just going to come off like that. But we have some short little scripts. you can use. We'll put them in the show notes, right? So you can just copy and paste them whenever you need them. And of course, rework them to make it sound more like you, because that's awkward if it doesn't sound like you, right? But with your staff,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can say things like, I trust you to handle this. If it's not urgent, let's revisit it tomorrow. I'm offline tonight, but I'll respond in the morning. That's perfectly acceptable. And this one sort of gets a little sassy, so you kind of gotta, rephrase it. Let's create a plan so this doesn't require last minute texts. That might be when there's something bigger happening and they really kind of drop the ball, right? Mm. With
Right.
clients, I love this, right? Let's say you own a spa and you have a group coming in, and the group leader really just wants to talk to you all about the party or whatever the group visit is. You can say things like, my team is fully empowered to assist you. They've got you. So it's just kind of setting a boundary and letting them know, okay, what the ladder of communication really is.
Mm-hmm.
And then with family, I love these, right? I want to be fully present, but I need a little quiet time first. I can help with that, but I won't be available until blank. So, I'd
Right.
love to
Right.
help with that, but I won't be available until 8 p.m. Or I won't be available until January 15th. So buzz off. Uh,
Out of
oh,
office.
forever. Lose my number. We should do scripts like of things of what not to say.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I think that these work because they're direct,
Yeah.
but also kind, and
Yeah.
hopefully will help those listeners like us feel less guilty, not immediately acting
Right.
by
Right.
putting things
Exactly.
off.
Right. Because, everything, it's a ripple effect, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
you teach your team how they should interact with you, how to respect your time, how to communicate, and how to lead themselves. So when you set these boundaries, whether it's your work team, your family team, whatever team you might have, right? Things run smoother. There's less fires. You're going to prevent the burnout. So you're proactive and not reactive to your burnout. And really, it can create good morale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that teaching boundaries, um, they're not roadblocks. They help create stability, and people can rely on it, right? People like to feel like they work and live and interact in an environment that is comfortable and stable rather than chaotic and full of friction. So we're going to do a little mini challenge. Spa Hive, here's your December challenge.
I love a
MaryAnn, you
challenge.
want to share?
Yeah,
I
because
know
I
you
love a
do.
challenge. I don't know what it is, but I truly enjoy the challenge. Julie, did you do our stillness challenge from a few
I
weeks ago?
did. I sure
Don't lie to
did.
me. Don't lie to me. Santa
I sure
knows.
did. I sure did. Yes, I did. I did it 5 straight days.
How was it?
Well,
The,
like I said on that episode, I feel like I have mastered the art of stillness.
mm.
But you should not do it lying in bed
Well, yeah, I think
because
that was
that
my
becomes your
downfall.
afternoon nap.
Yeah, I know. That was my
You
downfall.
have to do
I
it
love
like sitting,
yes.
staring out the window.
Yes. Fully present in the doing nothingness. If that makes
What's
sense.
hard for me is, as I'm sitting, staring out the window, and I'm pretty sure you told me that I couldn't do it while I was on my morning walk or
No.
taking a bath, that I had to do it as a singular activity. I come up with a lot of stuff in my head that I want to write down, and then it goes out, because I didn't have my notebook because I wasn't supposed to do that. And I'm like, oh, I have so many great ideas that I got to write down, or things that I have to do once this 15 minutes is up.
Yeah, well, if they're supposed to happen, they'll come back to you when you have your notebook out.
I guess. So
That's how
what's
it
our
happens.
challenge for December?
All right. So our little mini challenge is set one boundary for December. And we're going to share ours on Instagram and in the group. If you haven't joined the group, there is the group link down below in our show notes. So just one boundary, right, guys? This doesn't have to be a huge thing. It doesn't have to be, I'm waking up early every single day to do this, and don't text me, and don't do this, and, right? So here's a couple of examples. No work texts after 7 p.m. And now you can't help when people text you, right? But you can help with your texting back or your reaction. I would suggest to let people know, right? If this is kind of a new thing, so that they don't think you're just ignoring them every single day. Like I thought
Right,
Julie was
exactly.
doing.
Or like if I don't let MaryAnn know, she thinks I get kidnapped.
Yes, and then I have to call Gary. Another example is I'm blocking December whatever for my recharge day. I really like
I
that
like that.
idea. And then, this one can be a hard one. This can be really hard, but if you take your own clients, right? Let's say you're a solo operator, you're not taking last minute clients during your day off. And that's a hard one. So
Right.
you got to see, maybe that's a boundary that fits you, or maybe it doesn't, because there is a season to make money, especially right now. So you got to see what boundary is that you are going to want to uphold for December. See how it works out.
Did you pick your boundary yet?
No, did you?
No.
Oh, great.
So MaryAnn and I are going to select our boundaries, and we're going to share it in social media, so that we want you to share the boundary that you selected for the month of December. Tag us, send us a message. Listen, you can care deeply and still say no. Holiday hero mode is not the goal. Sustainability is the goal. Making it through, having what we've said before, a happy, healthy, productive, hopefully profitable December. Leading with intention, not obligation. And remember to protect your energy, protect your peace, and give yourself permission to enjoy the season, not just survive it. So we're going to see you here live next time in the SpaHive on our Business Besties podcast. Thanks again for joining us. Bye, MaryAnn.
Bye, Julie. Goodbye, listeners.
If I've piqued your interest, even just a little bit, about the SpaHive, good news. You can learn more over at our free Facebook community. That's right. Head on over to Facebook, search SpaHive Professional Community, and join me, my SpaHive board, and over 400 other spa, hospitality, and wellness professionals there. The community is always free, chocked full of tips, tricks, and educational content to serve you. Look forward to seeing you there.